Michael Schumacher was born on January 3, 1969, in Herth-Hermelheim, just outside Cologne, Germany, into a working-class family whose energies revolved around a small karting track that his father, Rolf, ran, with his mother, Elizabeth, holding down the canteen nestled beside the asphalt ribbons that would one day shape her son's destiny. From the very beginning, racing was in Schumacher's blood, a precocious child chasing adrenaline behind a steering wheel, his early years dominated by karting triumphs, often on salvaged tires, as revealed by stories later surfaced in his family-backed Netflix documentary, Schumacher, 2021. By the age of 14, he was already making waves in European karting circuits. The speed, the precision, the delicate dance between control and risk, it was all instinctive to him. In 1991, a pivotal twist, he debuted in Formula One at the Belgian Grand Prix for Jordan, but within days was snapped up by Benetton Ford, a moment of fate sealed by his audacious talent and the team's belief in him. Though his F1 career began with just a handful of races that season, he earned 4 points and displayed a natural ability to push the limits even in machinery that wasn't always forgiving. The breakthrough came in 1992 when Schumacher surged to third in the Drivers' Championship, finishing the year with 53 points. A victory at the Belgian Grand Prix, his first Grand Prix win and the first by a German in over 17 years, and multiple podiums, establishing a template of relentless determination and raw pace. That Belgian win at Spa-Francorchamps marked not only a personal milestone but a turning point for German motorsport, and hinted at what was coming, a 7-time world champion in the making. 1993 saw Schumacher broaden his resume, another win, 9 podiums, yet repeated near misses kept the championship just out of reach, fueling what would become a legendary hunger. By 1994, his third full season, he seized the Drivers' Championship and followed it up with an even more dominant 1995 campaign, capturing 9 wins and securing back-to-back world titles with Benetton. However, 1994 was also marred by controversy. His title fight involved collisions with Damon Hill in Adelaide, one of them contributing to Hill's loss and raising lasting questions about his win-at-all-costs mentality. Then came the move to Ferrari in 1996, a turning point both for him and the storied Italian team. His first Ferrari victory came 2 months into the calendar at the Spanish Grand Prix in torrential rain, an unforgettable performance in which he etched his reputation as Regionmeister, the Rain Master, motoring through storms with surgical precision and unshakable calm, his 20th career win and a signal that Ferrari's edifice of glory had been revived. As Schumacher matured into his late 20s and early 30s, he became the single greatest driver of his era. From 2000 to 2004, he claimed 5 consecutive world titles with Ferrari, an ascension of unprecedented dominance. In 2000, he gathered 9 wins, 12 podiums, and launched into superstardom. In 2001, he piled on 14 podiums and another 9 wins, but it was 2004 that distilled his legend, 13 wins in the first 13 races, 15 overall, sealing the championship by a staggering margin and redefining what success in F1 could look like. He pioneered rigorous fitness, data-driven preparation and unwavering mental intensity that transformed driver performance in the sport forever. During those years, Schumacher amassed record after record, 91 Grand Prix victories, 77 fastest laps, 68 pole positions and 155 podiums over 307 starts, a win percentage that hovered near 50% in podium finishes in over 70% of his races. Yet alongside the dazzling success were moments of sharp controversy, collisions with rivals like Jacques Villeneuve in 1997, deliberate obstruction tactics in Monaco 2006, and a polarizing image that blended hero and adversary, sometimes called superhero villain by peers like Red Bull's Richard Hopkins, who described Schumacher as intensely focused, even aloof, when stripped of the helmet. In 2006, following a season littered with wins and a broken pole record, Schumacher announced his first retirement after capturing his 91st win at the Chinese Grand Prix. That marked the end of an era, Ferrari and F1 bidding farewell to the driver who had come to symbolize their modern resurgence. Shifting from the zenith of his first spell in Formula One, Michael Schumacher surprised the motorsport world at Monza on September 10, 2006, the venue of his 90th Grand Prix victory, by announcing that he would retire at the end of the season, with just 3 races remaining in the calendar. With characteristic understatement, Schumacher reflected that his batteries were empty, that the motivation and energy needed to compete at the very top had begun to fade, and he did not want to continue unless he could give 100% of himself. He also said he chose that moment so that his teammate Felipe Massa would have clarity over his future at Ferrari, and confirmed alongside Kimi Räikkönen, already signed as replacement, that it felt like the right time to step aside. Schumacher's decision brought to a close a 15-year era in which he had shattered nearly every record in Formula One. At that moment he had amassed 7 world titles, 91 Grand Prix wins, still the record at the time, 68 pole positions and 77 fastest laps, before any of those records were later tied or surpassed. Notably, Ferrari wished to honor him with a statement highlighting his unmatched dedication and bond with the team staff, his role in 6 successive Constructors' Championships, and his global appeal as a sporting icon. In the aftermath, many speculated whether Schumacher might have continued if not for health issues. He had told German media that persistent pain in his neck and arms, particularly during testing, had sapped his energy, and he recognized that he was counting down the hours to the end of his career. Others saw a more tactical reasoning. He stated in an interview that he retired partly so Felipe Massa would not lose his seat, though he had no problem competing against Räikkönen directly. His retirement was therefore driven by both physical wear and deep team loyalty. But the hiatus lasted only 3 years. In late 2009 it was announced that Schumacher would return as a race driver with the newly reformed Mercedes Grand Prix team, partly under the influence of longtime technical partner Ross Brawn and as part of Mercedes's long-term ambition to return to the front of the grid. The comeback, from 2010 through 2012, allowed him to mentor younger drivers and contribute to developing Mercedes's future dominance. Though the results fell far short of his earlier Ferrari days, he never won another race in that second chapter and retired again after the 2012 season, aged 43. Yet his presence elevated the team's profile and helped seed a championship-winning ethos that would fully blossom only years later. Away from racing, Schumacher had long supported philanthropic causes, humanitarian initiatives and children's charities. During the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami disaster he personally donated $10 million to relief efforts. He also held titles such as UNESCO Champion for Sport in 2002 and received multiple awards from the German Motorsport Federation and F1 media outlets for his driving and personality, including Autosport Driver of the Year and Laureus Sportsman of the Year. Then, on December 29, 2013, tragedy struck. During a family skiing holiday in Maribel, France, Schumacher fell off-piste and hit his head on a rock even though he was wearing a helmet. The resulting brain injury was severe. He was airlifted to Grenoble, underwent emergency surgery and placed in a medically induced coma that lasted roughly until June 2014. After emerging from the coma, he was moved to a rehabilitation facility in Switzerland and later to his home near Lake Geneva where he remained under round-the-clock care. Reports describe only select individuals such as his wife Karina, son Mick, former Ferrari boss Jean Todt and longtime friend Luca Badoer as visiting him regularly. The family has zealously guarded his privacy ever since. The public has received remarkably few verifiable updates since the accident. Speculation is rife about his current condition. Some medical experts suggest minimal progress, and commentators have offered cautiously pessimistic assessments of prospects for meaningful recovery. However, the family did orchestrate one small public fact in recent years. Michael signed a charity helmet for Sir Jackie Stewart's Race Against Dementia fundraising effort, an action believed to have required Karina's involvement and interpreted by many as a hopeful but rare gesture. Rumors of appearances or such as at his daughter Gina's 2024 wedding circulated online, but were dismissed by close friends and representatives as false, or even A1 fake news. In the meantime, Michael's fame has only grown as his story became one of mythic proportions, the driven kart prodigy who became the bravest, most dominant force in Formula One, only to be silenced by fate and slowly withdrawn into the most private of worlds. Even now, Michael Schumacher sits as the second most successful Formula One driver ever, tied with Lewis Hamilton for 7 world titles, though many of his records, such as fastest laps and dominance in Ferrari's era, still stand unmatched. Yet the narrative of his life is more than statistics. It is a chronicle of unrelenting ambition, meticulous preparation, fierce loyalty, and an unquenchable hunger for perfection, qualities that lifted him from a German kart track to global superstardom. In the quieter chapters of life following his final retirement, Michael Schumacher's journey shifted from racetracks to resilience, from podium finishes to protected presence. His legacy continued not on circuit laps but in the fortress of privacy crafted meticulously by his wife Karina. Since his skiing accident on December 29, 2013 in Maribel, when he suffered severe brain trauma after hitting a rock, the world has seen almost no direct glimpse of him. Yet the awareness and admiration for his spirit hums on in every corner of motorsport. public visibility has been virtually non-existent, upheld by a rule that no more than 20 individuals are permitted to approach Schumacher at any time. The trusted group includes medical staff, immediate family, and a handful of confidants, people such as his son Mick, daughter Gina Maria, close friends like Jean Todt, Luca Badoer, Flavio Briatore, and longtime manager Sabine Kemm, while even headlines hinting at his presence are often refuted or denied. Felix Gorner, a respected F1 journalist based in Germany, offered the most recent medical insight. In March 2025, he described Schumacher as entirely dependent on full-time round-the-clock care, unable to speak, communicating perhaps only via eye movements. The situation is very sad, Gorner said. He needs constant care and is completely dependent on his caregivers, and he can no longer express himself verbally. Former manager Flavio Briatore echoed the somber reality, revealing Schumacher is bedbound and prefers to remember the man he was, smiling after victory, rather than the one confined to his current state. Amid the silence, moments of quiet hope and pride break through. In April 2025, Schumacher made his first public gesture since the accident, signing Sir Jackie Stewart's helmet, a charity act for Race Against Dementia, assisted by Carina. His initials MS appeared on the helmet, viewed by former teammate Johnny Herbert as wonderful and symbolic, perhaps, of the man still inside. That moment, small but profound, softened hearts across the F1 world. That same spring brought another poignant milestone. His daughter Gina Maria gave birth to a daughter, Millie, on March 29, 2025. The arrival of Schumacher's first grandchild offered a rare bright note. Reports suggest that Michael was flown by helicopter from his Swiss home to Mallorca to be near his daughter before the birth, another sign of his continued connection to the family at the center of his life. The Schumacher family has faced challenges beyond health. In February 2025, a German court convicted a man who attempted to blackmail the family with stolen private images of Michael, handing down a 3-year prison sentence to the ringleader. His son and a former security guard received suspended terms. These episodes show that Carina and her children remain determined to shield Michael's dignity at all costs and preserve the legacy of a man who once seemed invincible on the track. Today, Michael Schumacher resides at a fortified estate on Lake Geneva in Switzerland, supported by an elite circle of care. Some reports also cite a separate retreat on Mallorca, an isolated villa equipped with medical apparatus and guarded to the highest specification, the kind of sanctuary only possible to afford with his legacy of success. While fans long for updates, the only certainty is that his family's commitment to protecting him remains absolute. His 7 world championships, 91 Grand Prix wins, 155 podiums and records such as the most fastest laps speak to the phenomenal driver he was, an icon shaped by passion, precision, and a hunger for excellence. Yet Michael Schumacher's story extends far beyond that legacy. It is now a broader narrative about vulnerability, devotion, and the lengths to which love and privacy are used to preserve both the man and the memory. As his children build their own lives, Mick forging a name in sports cars, Gina Maria embracing motherhood, the world remembers Michael not just in medals and milestones, but in the silence surrounding his life, and the dignity being fiercely upheld in his name.